Hi everyone, Janie here. Welcome back to my garden. I am in my backyard today and my goal for today is to address these topiaries. Yes, they're still a bit crooked. Jason and I spent some time last week leveling out all of the pots in the backyard. We did it the right way. Jason helped me. We ended up digging out a hole, putting in some paver base, then putting a paver on top, and then putting the pots on top. So I know the pots are level now at this point. What's not level is my juniper topiary. It's a little crooked, and if you look way over there, I don't think you can really see it right now, my iceberg rose standard is a bit crooked as well. So I think I'm gonna fix that today. But what I also wanted to do is I wanted to trim up these two topiaries. I have a Texas privet poodle, I don't want to call it like ball topiary, poodle ball topiary. And then I also have this juniper spiral, and this juniper spiral has been through a lot. I got it off the clearance rack at Lowe's. That is such a great resource. I feel like too many people know about it now because you have to be there literally the day that they put stuff on clearance to get any of the good stuff. Otherwise it's just like total waterlogged succulents, at least at my Lowe's. But I did find this a couple years ago and I was really happy to find it. So still check your Lowe's if you can find something good, but I think I got this for less than $40. And I think it was like $150, marked down from $150. So it was a fantastic deal. But it also did have some brown in the inside, and I've kind of nursed it back to health over the past couple years. And I always get really nervous when it comes time for me to prune it. I think because it's a spiral, and spirals are, to me, they're so hard to prune. I just get really nervous. So I just take it really slow, take off a little bit at a time, and just kind of see how it does. So that's my plan for today. I'm going to straighten out my topiaries, I'm going to prune them, and then I'm going to underplant them. I did grab a couple of the Lobelia when I was at the garden center the other day. I was actually at Home Depot is where I found them, and they just looked so pretty. So this area right here, right behind me, it is on a north-facing fence, so it doesn't get full sun. So I would say it's probably about part sun to part shade. I feel like that's what a lot of things are in my garden. But I have put full sun plants there. I have put Supertunias there, and they've done really well. I think I might put a couple Supertunias in because I do have some in my greenhouse that I wintered over. I just haven't really decided yet. But anyway, I saw this Lobelia and I thought, okay, well, I'm going to try that in this spot and I'm going to see how it does. And if it really thrives, Lobelia likes, at least in my area, it likes part sun. It can't handle full sun because it's too hot for it. But if you put it in the right spot, it will shine. It will be like just this bright blue color. And I think that will be so pretty because this is the view that we see inside our house, like from our dining room, our kitchen, and our living room. So it's really important for me to have a nice, beautiful view with lots of color coming out this way. So I am going to get started leveling out and pruning the topiaries, and then I'll see what I can figure out for underplanting them. All right, you guys, I've got everything all pruned and all cleaned up. You know, I get nervous about it to start off, but once I get into it, it's actually quite satisfying to prune topiaries. It's kind of like cutting your hair. You get really nervous about it and then you realize it's just hair or it's just a topiary. It is gonna grow back, so it's no big deal. So anyway, I'm glad that I got that done, and I got my iceberg standard leveled out and then even hosed off some of the mud that was over there, which was kind of a fool's errand because we don't have mulch down yet and it is gonna rain again. So I'm sure we're still gonna get more mud in that area, but I just wanted to see it clean. I'm just so ready to get everything nice and clean. So then anyway, I took out some of the topsoil, not all of the topsoil for these pots, just because I didn't want to repot the topiaries today. That is just going to be a huge job because they've been in there for a couple years and I'm sure they're pretty rooted in. But I know that that is coming. I know I'm going to have to address that eventually. But I did just add some new fresh topsoil, and then I kind of picked out what plants I have. So I have this Lobelia sky blue, which is so beautiful. It is such a beautiful color, and I really hope it does well. I'm a little nervous about planting this plant just because we do get so hot. It might be one of those plants that only does well in the spring, and then I might have to replace it with something that's a little bit more heat tolerant, but I'm gonna try it anyway and see how it does. Like I said, it can't handle full sun in our area where it's hot, but it does like some sun. So, you know, you kind of gotta play with it a little bit, but I have seen it grown and seen it grown beautifully in my area. Then next I have this white licorice Helichrysum. This is actually leftover, one of them that I had left over from my trio of black pots in my front garden, my front patio area. I used this as a thriller and I had one left over, so I figured I might as well use it for back here, save some money, and I think it'll look really pretty in this tall pot right here. Then I have something fun that I'm trying. This is a cal lily. It's either giant white or white giant. I can never keep it straight, but it's basically a giant cal lily. And I have about 9 of these potted up. I potted them up about 6 weeks ago. They are going to go in my shade garden over by my iceberg rose standards and my white bench. It's gonna be so beautiful once they grow to maturity and they're growing up behind that white bench. But I figured, wouldn't it be beautiful to repeat it and have another one right here in this pot? My shade garden is right off to my right over here. So I thought I would try and use one of these as a thriller in this pot. I'm just gonna try it. I don't know how well it's gonna do. I don't even know how tall it's gonna get. I think it might limit its growth a little bit being in the pot, but we'll just have to see. So I'm gonna try it out and I'm gonna see how it does. So that is going to be my thriller in this pot right here. And then another kind of experiment that I did, let's call it a failed experiment. Let me just start off with that. These are Supertunias. I bought a whole bunch of them at the end of the season last year because they were for sale at my local garden center. I also bought a couple of them off the website, and I held them over all winter long. I held them inside in my grow room, and then I moved them out to my greenhouse with the goal of being able to plant Supertunias out earlier. Here in zone 9B, and I'm sure all of you in higher zones, we have our last frost date so early compared to when things come available, when annuals come available, and it always frustrates me, and I know it frustrates a lot of you as well. So I thought, okay, well, I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna try and winter over these Supertunias and see how they do and see if I can get them to last so that I can plant them up early next season. Well, it kind of backfired for 2 reasons. One, we have had an extremely cold and wet winter, and so I am not even planting things out at this point, and now Supertunias are starting to become available. So it was kind of a moot point on that end. And then second is I got aphids bad. I actually got them in my grow room, which is also my office indoors. And it was pretty much every day I was spraying off these plants, trying to get rid of the aphids. I did spray some with insecticidal soap, but that honestly, it didn't work. Spraying them with water was the thing that worked the best. Once I moved them out to my greenhouse and it was a little bit warmer, the aphids just they just took over. They just took over on these poor plants. These two are the ones that look the nicest, but just wait to get your Supertunias. If you live in a high zone like I do, we just have to be patient, I think, and wait for Supertunias to come available. They usually come available April, May, definitely, you know, so we just have to be patient. So I have a Supertunia bubblegum that I'm going to plant in this pot right here, and then I have a Supertunia limoncello that I'm going to plant over here with the rest of these Lobelia. So I'm going to get these planted and let's get going. I am all done. I think it looks good. I mean, it could be better with some of the annuals a little bit healthier, but the topiaries look beautiful. I'm pretty proud of myself for that. Okay, so we have the Texas privet ball topiary. We have the juniper spiral that I did cut a lot, but I kind of like it tight like that, like pruned really tightly. I think I'm going to do that more often. I feel like now I can do that because it has recovered. There used to be a lot of brown on the inside, and now it's mostly green. I'm not going to say completely. It's mostly green, so it looks really good. Underneath the spiral, I planted the sky blue lobelia. I just watered everything in, so everything looks a little waterlogged, but that's all right. I have white licorice helichrysum. Over underneath the ball topiary, I have the poor Supertunia limoncello. I sprayed all the aphids off, and hopefully now that it's outside, it will have a fighting chance to come back from the aphid infestation. I mean, Supertunias are so hardy. They can handle so much as compared to other plants, so I feel like they'll do good. And then I did 3 more of the lobelia right there. And then over here in this pot, I have my Supertunia bubblegum, which I kind of feel like it's going to come back. I only did 1 because that's really all you need. They are absolutely crazy. And then my thriller, I have the white giant calla lily. So I'm actually really excited about this pot to see how it does. I have a bird yelling at me right now. I'm sorry. Hold on. And then I cleaned this area up, which again was kind of a waste of time, but I'm glad I did it. And then what I also did is I had 2 other bubblegum, Supertunia bubblegum. I'm not even gonna get close to it because it doesn't look good. And then I did another one over there. I'm just making note of this for you guys, just so that you can see, like, we'll see how they do. We'll see if they recover. We'll see if they can handle it. I mean, I don't know. I'm not optimistic, but I think they have a better chance out here than they do in my infested greenhouse right now. So it is starting to rain, but it is actually the perfect time for me to clean out my greenhouse. So I have to get on that. All right. I hope you all enjoyed this. The rain is actually perfect timing because I am done. I've even cleaned up. So I got my topiaries done. I've got a bunch of stuff planted. I hope you all have a chance to get in your garden today.